Yeah, Ma'aser Matan B'Emuna. You have to have Emuna. This is what Hashem wants me to do right now.
You have the koko to be able to, I don't know, gather data, or you have to like
gathering data. Yeah, spreadsheets.
You know how to use Excel.
I have to use all this stuff. Yeah. I did have the chance to work for a corporate, which trained me a lot in how to use a lot of tools that I wouldn't have known without it. Because we came from the old world where things were done through through letters and writing, and
able to do it.
You have to figure it out. Yeah, Baruch Hashem, and then the avoda to try, as we learned yesterday, to try to be ma'amin that in all the cutness and all the grinding and the work of doing the same thing almost again and again and again to try to get with the numbers game, try to get some results. Be'ez Hashem, and there are some results, Be'ez Hashem, some shefa. So then you have Emuna in a Shem Echad, in the oneness that you're doing this with Emuna, and that's part of the avoda of this whole Torah from Torah Lamed Hey and Sefer Ches. He was saying, and now interestingly, he went into this whole deep concept of the Korbanos and the Ketoris, that we're Mila, everything, the Sosis, like this Malach, Matat. We're picking things up from Asiya to Yetzirah, from one world of action to a higher world. And he then says that spreading and learning out the Torah, all the Nitzosis that are amongst the nations and all the lands surrounding Yerushalyim, they go up. And that's all to do with Emuna. Nikra Yerushalyim and Malchus. Yerushalyim is Malchus. This is where we ended up yesterday. Because there comes their Nofel. As we go up, they fall. What's that? Yerushalyim goes up. Who falls? Esav, Edom.
Yeah. So
Edom, when we go up, when Yaakov goes up, Esav falls. So when Yerushalyim becomes back to Malchus, so then Esav falls. That's the pasuk. Zer come v'zer Nofel. But it's also, we touched a little bit yesterday also the Indian of Yerida and Eliyahu. There's always going to be Yeridas and Eliyahs. Ki Chorban Emuna hu nikra Chorban Yerushalayim. And when there's a Chorban, God forbid, in Emuna, we call this Chorban Yerushalayim. I once heard from a Rav who used to be a Talmud of Volbe, and he said over from Volbe that the main tikkun chatzos a person needs to do is his own Chorban, not so much on the Chorban base of Mikdash, on his own. The Chorban Emuna, that's Chorban Yerushalayim. So we learn out from that that when the people of Emuna were no longer, being Shola in Yerushalayim, that's when Yerushalayim could be Chorev. Once there's people of Emuna in Yerushalayim, it's like it's an eternal city. It can never be destroyed. But it's Tali on Emuna from Am Yisrael, from us. We see that, after the shir this morning from Rav Shlomo, this is where the war is. The fourth level he brought down, they're the Anshe Emuna. That party of people who have Emuna. Yeah. They have Emuna in Mashiach, have Emuna in Einod Mevado, in Hashem Yisbarach. They're the ones who will be matzliach to have a kiyum in Eretz Yisrael. If there's not that kind of mindset, all the other mindsets aren't going to work. And that's where we have all these problems. And to the point where it says Chorban Yerushalayim, God forbid. Yeah? So we have to work on the Emuna. Yerushalayim Hainu Emuna. The Yerushalayim is Emuna. Hainu Ma'aser Matan. And that's connected to how we do our commerce, our business. Shu Pshat Araisa, and that is the clarity in learning. It's Gaberis, and it's we were just learning the Torah Emes now, and he says the whole Pshat on Hazinu is that the beginning is difficult, Kol Tchalas Kashis, but so it will be Arevis, it'll be Devash, it'll be Geshmak, be easy. Yeah? But we first have to break through that initial, so that connects here as well, Mr. Gaberis. You have to push, it's a push. It's how does he translate it there? It's a Gaberis.
Yeah, gain strength.
Yeah, you have to gain strength in these things. It's not going to be easy. It has to be with some being a bit of a gibor. I mean, that's the hope that we're doing now. We're being giborim. As I elu akamar says noflim. So when all these nations fall, like we're seeing around us, all these nations are falling, Baruch Hashem. I don't even know their nations, whatever they are. Yeah, they're all falling. Simone Hakatoris. So say for example in Aza, or right now Avodas Hashem in Lebanon, all these people are falling because thanks to the Satad Ishmael and the genius of Am Yisrael, we're bringing these nations down, yeah, whoever they are, yeah. And in those places there's sparks that were captured, literally hostages or sparks of Kedusha, however that works. And they're all being raised by the secret of the 11 types of spices of the Keturis. That's what's happening in all these places. So
meaning the other places, the foreign nations, are being raised by the 11.
Yeah, the sparks there
of the Torah.
Yeah, but they have to fall.
Business honestly.
Yeah.
That makes Yerushalyim get raised, or them. Or
Yerushalyim get raised, Emuna.
They'll get lower.
And Yerushalayim, Emuna, and clarity and learning.
Yeah.
Everything goes up, gets elevation. So you see, like we were learning this morning, the idea that success of our mission is going to come from clarity. Mm-hmm. It's coming from clear what our mission is, what our goal is, what our end goal is. The lack of clarity is where the leadership fails. That's where we have to step forward and make sure that we give that. My son phoned me before he went into Lebanon today, before he handed one of the last. He handed his phone in. The last video call he made was to me, Baruch Hashem, and he just wanted to just get some chizuk, and I just told him that he has to be ma'amin in himself, in atzmach, and he has to believe in himself that if he gets a very strong intuition and she feels his very emes, as much as he's part of his team and he has to do what his mifakid tell him, but he also has to believe in himself. Because sometimes in war, that could be life or death, God forbid, yeah? Or YISRAEL Hashem, that could be the ability to save him and other people, that he has an intuition. Like example being that I was watching him in Nazar when he was going through the buildings. One of the things that they didn't always tell him, make sure you guard this specific position, but he knew that that's the right thing to do, so he would do it, and they saw that, and now they're very happy about certain things he did that showed a consideration that was beyond what they asked. And other buildings where that wasn't being done, the terrorists were able to come and surprise attack them, and there was no one ready to shoot them, and they, God forbid, they went through what they went through. So like we have to realize it can be in big enough communities that we have clarity and we believe in ourselves, and it really is right now in this current climate we're in that we need to have all the clarity we can get.
Do you get used to it over time? Is it like okay, it's not as
for Shlem on your own?
Oh, thank you. Yeah. Well, it looks a lot worse.
You do get a little bit used to it, but in a weird way, like because this time is a little bit. My wife said it's like going through it all again at the beginning, just with more experience. So you have to constantly get yourself into the right headspace, that you're davening, you're learning, you're trying to use your time. You feel bad when you're wasting time, like flicking on your phone or whatever, and you think really, I need to be like most nefesh, like my son's being most nefesh, like I need to put this away and daven or learn or do something more important than just flicking and doing nonsense. But Hashem also knows we need to escape somewhat the intensity of what we're going through. So I hope that there's Rahmanas and understanding that, I'm a human being and there's only so much intensity,
Well, we'll find out.
Yeah.
Judgment's coming up pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't see it like that way though. I don't see it like this scary judgment, because I'll tell you why. Chassidus, what it does is it pushes off the judgment again and again and again.
Yeah.
To the point, by the time you get to the actual
you're saying Hanukkah,
final judgment, it's already it's all rachamim. It's all just good. How's that work? Rosh Hashanah gets pushed off to the Chosem Chosima by Yom Kippur. The Yom Kippur gets pushed off all the way till Hoshana Rabbah. And then Hoshana pushed off to Zos Chanukah.
Right.
And Zos Chanukah gets pushed off into Shovavim. And in Shovavim, by that point, you're already in a Chodesh of Nisan, which is Chesed, and you see it's right, everything's good, it's with the summer months, and there's already just diluted the judgment to the point where it's just all good. That's Hamtakis, the dinim, the gamri.
Yeah.
That's, I don't know if it's
No.
I was just trying to not go
very
that
good.
old school
Yeah. I always like to throw.
This is a long game,
Yeah.
So that Hashem has a plan to stretch it out into a time of just pure love, like it says with this week's parsha also. We just had in Torah Emes, the Rebbe says, we're like Tau, YISRAEL Tau, we're like Tau. And Hashem, when he says Tau in this week's parsha, what's the difference with Tau
and rain? Rain could go ahead and bring the destruction, but Tau
is always soft,
it's always a winner,
and it's always coming.
Yeah,
it never goes, and that's the mashal of how much Hashem loves us.
Yeah,
no matter what, He's just constantly giving us good. He loves us, and that's the kind of derech of Chassidus.
How do you know, just in general, that right? Those are nice examples that He loves us. How do we
that's
know
the parsha.
that He's not going to break the deal? Like,
what do you mean?
There's so many.
Or other religions that claim Bris Chadasha and all that
No,
stuff.
but even me reading the Psukim, it's like especially now these rough stuff. Like
it gets really heavy in the middle of the song.
Gonna, be with the other idols, and I'm just gonna
the way I always think about it is we were yoked to Gavain. We went through all that stuff already.
Yeah.
Now we just have it in a more theoretical. I mean, unfortunately, we had October the 7th, but it was when generally we're not going to October the 7th. So we've gone through. Yeah, what do you want to say, Bamitz?
Well, there's still stuff yet, because I believe that there's different things. I don't believe it's all over yet, because Hashem wants to prove a point to the Jewish people.
Right.
That's why we're in the last exile.
Right.
Which is, I think, we're probably the longest one. Which is showing us a message.
But we're going to get to the end.
We're still going to have. What about all the curses that Hashem said He was going to do to us?
I'm hoping with Yossi's saying.
That's still possible to be done?
I think on an emotional level we go through it enough. That's where Sodiq says, like the pachad and all the fear that's generated, that's already yoked to. We don't actually go through it.
When he says, oh, we've been through it already.
Oh, we're going through it emotionally, like mentally.
Well,
so we don't actually have to hear the bad news. There's enough trauma anyway. It's yoked to Gavain. So the only thing next is Mashiach.